What's going on, guys? Kyvox here, and the nice people over at Old Shark sent me over an action cam to test out, and I've been doing that for the past couple weeks. Here it is. It's just a general style action cam, extremely light. A lot lighter than I was expecting it to be. I've been putting this thing through its paces in the past, I'd say probably 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've been beating it up pretty good. It doesn't feel like it's very rugged, but it's been putting up with my abuse pretty well. It's also definitely not meant to be used like just freehand like this. It does come with a ton of accessories. It comes in this decently big box compared to the size of the actual action cam. So I was very surprised when I got this whole box in for this little guy, and then I opened it up and this is what I found inside. Just get rid of that. So I was very surprised that it actually came with a little carrying case for the tiny little camera. So I opened this up and there's just like first of all, it comes with like a nice little monopod, stretches out, boom, locks, unlocks. Obviously, this is pretty useful if you're gonna be, selfie camming or doing something like that. So we'll put that guy aside. It comes with a ton of different style mounts where you could just mount it to a tripod. These attach to this guy. The camera goes in here like that. By the way, once the camera's in here, it's like impossible to get out. I just turned it on by accident. Yeah, once the camera's in here, it's pretty tough to get out of here. So it's definitely not gonna be going anywhere once it's in here. This will mount to a bunch of different style things. There's a clamp in this guy, so you can just slide that on, tighten this down, clamp it onto something. You do whatever you want to do. If that's what you want to do, then you do you. That's how that works. What else did it come with? All these clamps. It came with a clamp for like a bicycle. It came with this strap that I don't know what this is for. Some adhesive stuff to replace the adhesive pieces. Flat mount, so you can mount it on anything that's flat. Also another one of the clamps. Suction cup mount, which is super nice if you're gonna mount this as a dash cam or something like that. But the fact that it comes with this little pouch, obviously you're not gonna be carrying everything all the time. You can put the camera in here and then have everything else. That's not how it goes. You can put the camera in there and then have some extra accessories on the side. This case is waterproof, and if you're gonna use it as a normal action cam, you're gonna mount it to a car or a motorcycle or something like that, this thing actually puts out some pretty decent footage. It doesn't actually have image stabilization in it, which is a bummer. As long as you're not doing some crazy flips, you can always do a little bit of stabilization in post edit. You maybe get a little bit of jello in there, but that's kind of something you can't really avoid unless the camera is built in with image stabilization. The price point for this is not as high as, let's say, a GoPro, where you're looking at $300 minimum for just the camera and one little mount for it. 2 mounts, but 1 holder for it. And there's a plus and minus, right? If you get a GoPro, you're getting all these extra features, and you're getting a very rugged camera itself without having to put a case on it. But if you get this, you're getting you're paying less than 1/3 of the price, and you're getting a decent action cam, which for a lot of people, that's all they really need. A lot of people don't need all the crazy features. They don't need to say, camera start recording and actually have it record, because most people that have GoPros don't even use that feature that it has. I know I don't. Honestly, this is a decent camera. It has the LCD screen on the back. It records in 4K. It records in all the lower resolutions as well. I believe it records 4K 24 FPS. The main thing that I did not love about this camera is I felt like the user interface was not the most perfect thing. It was definitely doable. So if you know how to use a camera, if you are tech savvy whatsoever, if you know how to use an iPhone or a phone, you can figure it out. The phone app wasn't the most impressive part of this either. It definitely could use improvements, but I was actually having a lot of trouble hooking it up, setting it up, connecting to my phone, but that was 100% operator error, user error. I actually contacted them and they gave me a couple of tips on what to do, and I was just like, oh, I was doing it wrong. Their customer support was actually very, very good. When I contacted them, they contacted me by the next day. Everything was, they helped me out. We went back and forth. It worked out very well. I want to thank Old Shark a lot for sending this over, because I will be using this for time lapses and things like that, where I could just set up the camera somewhere, turn it on and let it record. Another big thing about that whole time-lapse thing is that you can actually record with this while it's plugged in, so you don't have to worry about the battery dying on it. All you really have to do is worry about it taking up too much space in the memory card and then stop recording because it ran out of space. The fact that you can plug it in and it came with an extra battery is, if you don't really know if you want a GoPro and you just want to play around with an action cam, or if you want something that you're not paying that premium just for that name, this is definitely a good alternative. So when I said that I was, I put this thing through its paces, what I was talking about was, I did use it inside a bit, testing it out, just seeing how it did. It did pretty well. You definitely need good lighting conditions. If you don't have a bright enough room, it's definitely made for action. So it's made for really being used outside, not really made for inside. I also ran into a building with it at some point, and it kept working, surprisingly. There's a little piece on the back that like popped off a little bit, just popped it back in. It's actually the case. I wasn't using this case for it. I was actually just using the bare camera on there, you know, just to see how it would work out, just to run it into a wall, see what happened. I got a little bit of a scrape on the lens, but other than that, it's still working. Probably the worst feature of this whole camera is the audio, and if you are going to use the case for it, the audio is going to be even worse. But that really goes for anything that you're going to put a case on. The audio is always going to be really bad. If you guys want to pick up your own, I will put a link down below. So the flight footage is going to be coming up right after this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to check out some of the other ones, and like this video if you like this video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Check out this footage. Bye bye bye.